Save us, Lord Satan, from the treacherous and the vile. Oh, Satan, spirit of the earth, God of liberty, open wide the gates of hell and come forth from the abyss by these names. Satan! Satan! Beelzebub! Beelzebub! Leviathan! Leviathan! Asmodeus! Asmodeus! Abaddon! Abaddon! Hail! Satan! Hail! Satan!
Satanism, to me, of course, is the worship of Satan. I've seen too much where Satanists are concerned. I'm against them. I'm not for it. They can call it a religion, whatever they wish. Why would they have to worship an entity they call Asteroid, Lucifer, Satan? Why don't they go to church? We are in a time right now when the Antichrist is here, that it is the Antichrist itself that is promoting the Satanism, which is flourishing throughout this world. Influencing it.
Strengthen my purpose to save the world from a second ordeal in Jesus Christ and his grubby, mundane creed. Show man instead the paradise of pain.
Satanists, these are the real dangerous ones. But let me say this, God will win. God always wins. Goodness overcomes evil every time.
These spewing maniacs like the Swaggarts, these idiots on the 700 Club, and good old Ed Lorraine up in Monroe, want you to believe about, there's this omnipotent, fearful God that was kind enough to, create you, but will kill you if you don't worship it. I don't go along with that.
Satanists are actually anti-Catholic. We're not anti-Catholic, we are pre-Christian. So we can't be we're not anti-anything. We believe in the goddess principle, the earth mother, the mother goddess, that which gives forth life.
I am Satan, I am God, I am Lucifer, I am Jesus, I am any God that man has ever created because man has created the God.
If you read Isaiah, he states that God is the creator of all things, good and evil, war and peace, light and dark. Most people will say that in the 6th century BC, the Persian philosopher Zoroaster changed everything. In his view, Ahura Mazda was the all-beneficial force. Opposing him on earth was an adversary called Ahriman. Now, the Hebrews at that time were captives in Persia, and the idea of this adversary appealed to them without its fully dualistic impact. Their Hebrew word for adversary was shaitan. When Christian theology came along, Christ was all perfect, all good. What therefore explained the presence of evil in the earth? This shaitan became Satan, capital S. In fact, the church created a department or a science of demonology, which was intended to structure Satan's forces. This way you could know which ones might be bothering you if you had an illness or if you had crazy sexual desires. With that, it was almost natural that some people out there were going to become fascinated by it. They were going to say, well, it's part of the Christian idea. Maybe Satan is the real God. If there's such a thing as a demon who can bring somebody wealth and riches, even though he doesn't deserve them, maybe if you worked on it, that demon would bring them to you and let the chips fall where they may. Today, there is some of that. There is a need to experiment with drugs, with sex, and some people feel it's more fun to do it under the aegis of Satanism or black magic, sorcery, each to his own.
The very essence of Witchcraft, Wicca, or white witchcraft as it is sometimes called, is the phrase, "And it harm none, do what thou wilt," which is Old English. It simply says, you can do what you want so long as you don't harm another human being or animal. Let me first state this. The devil, which is the central figure of satanic beliefs, is the perversion of witchcraft, even to the point of taking the symbol of witchcraft, which is the five-pointed star, and turning it upside down. So the satanic groups, the devil worshippers, are to witchcraft what the atheist is to Roman Catholicism. Anathema, the opposite. Up to the middle of the 13th century, the old religion was practiced by the country people. Country people were called pagans, from the pagani in Latin, meaning simply people who live in the countryside. And it became apparent to the Pope at the time that the people who were worshipping in the old ways were worshipping an antichrist, a figure that the church created out of a combination of various elements from antiquity, such as Pan, gave them the horns and the cloven hoof and the goat-like appearance. The persecution of people who were allegedly worshipping the devil, when in fact they were simply followers of the old religion who worshipped the mother goddess, started slowly at first in the 13th century, middle 13th century. It grew to enormous proportions as time went on. Millions were actually slaughtered in Europe, in Western Europe, in Italy, in England, in Scandinavia, all over. They were simply put to death, usually by fire, on the slightest accusation.
It's very strong and it's growing peacefully. There must be at least practicing witches, 800,000 or more. By the powers vested in me, from the mother that first began my cycle of the womb, by the powers of the first mothers, and on unto me, by this grace, I do consecrate the sacred water, so that all evil may be hence cast out, and only good remain. I do summon, stir, and call you up, all you mighty ones of the East, to witness the rites and guard the circle, in the names of Aradia and Cernunnos. This was for a couple that is getting married. There are rituals we use in the same candle image to heal, rituals we use to make an attraction. It works. May this candle of devotion be lit to the lovely goddess of love, Urzuli, so that she may bless this couple in happy marriage. May the spirit and love burn bright. So, as the cup is the female, and the athame is the male, and conjoined, they bring blessedness. The most immediate reaction I've ever received was, "You're a witch? Do you stick pins in dolls, you know?" And I'm like, "No." No, actually I don't, but if I did, it would be to heal you. I remember a time when my mother took me to the 5 and 10. I was 7 years old, and she says to me, "You can have anything you want in the store today." And what I wanted was a Buddha incense burner and incense. And my mother went home and she says, "You know, I have to say there's something strange about the baby." My partner Carol and I wanted to bring more of the craft to the public, but we actually opened it up in dedication to the gods, so that we could bring forth their name and their laws and the law of the land, loving the land. So it was actually opened up more as a dedication to the spiritual work that we have ahead of us.
Witches need implements, tools to practice their craft. In order to do so, there are shops, jewelers, and craftsmen who provide these services.
It's not making a profit, I can guarantee you that. We basically break even, and that's about it. This is a religious supply store for all religions. It carries the accoutrements for Judaism, Christianity, all phases, and the old pagan religions. Nuns come in and buy Rose of Jericho flowers. Rabbis come in and buy copies of the Kabbalah. You know, little basic things like that. My function is that of a high priest, a spokesperson, anything that a priest, rabbi, or minister of any other religion would do. I am perfectly entitled to put a collar on, but most of the time I'm just in dungarees. Beam on us, O joyous greenwood, banish heavy-hearted need. Accept our craft, O greatest mother. Let cheerful brightness be our fate. So mote it be. May the gods preserve the craft. We have free training classes in any religions. You know, we've asked rabbis and ministers come down to and explain, you know, their religions to people that might have left those religions because of a misunderstanding with a particular person, not understanding what their religion really was. Because all religions are good as long as a person understands what their religion is.
And it's a religion based on ecology. It's preserving Mother Earth. The word witchcraft was derived from the word Wicca. Originally, Wicca meant the word wise one or wise woman, and it later on became bastardized into being witch.
There are conservative Catholics who believe within their heart that the pagan community doesn't exist, that we're just superstitious. The Archdiocese of Brooklyn obviously believes we exist. They've hired me to teach in Roman Catholic schools and paid me, and issued releases to the Long Island Press saying the only difference, and this is quote, the only difference between modern-day witchcraft and Roman Catholicism is witches do not recognize the supreme deity of Christ.
We're a deeply religious people. Religious? With ruined churches. No ministers, no priests. And children dancing naked. Oh, what is all this? I mean, you've got fake biology, fake religion. Sir, have these children never heard of Jesus?
In the Wicca Man, there is a maypole ritual that is extremely accurate as to the one we do today. It represents a fertility dance, meaning the ribbons, all right, are connected to a large phallic symbol. And the children are weaving male to female in and out. And what they're actually doing is as they stoop, they're representing planting seeds into the ground and showing it to grow. All right, so it's imagery again, sympathetic magic.
Oh, God! Oh, Jesus Christ! No!
What happened in the Wicca Man was that they erected a huge image of a green man. Why? Because they wanted their apples to grow. And inside this green man, they created cages.
No! No!
In this way, the imagery is accurate. What we do today, we use sympathetic magic. But we found we no longer need the use of sacrifice anymore because that time has passed.
There's no human sacrifice, etc. Witches believe in reincarnation. And a witch would believe in karma, the threefold law. So it would be impossible for a witch to do anything negative and not suffer because of it.
Accept our sacrifice and make our blossoms fruit.
Witches received a lot of bad hype from Hollywood over the years. This representation has been so misled throughout several movies in Hollywood. Always the devil's daughter, the devil rides out, Satan's mistress, The Omen, and The Exorcist.
I have great difficulty in thinking back of any film that has truly and honestly described witchcraft in the way it really occurs or has occurred. What I have found, on the other hand, is a fantasy world pretty much buying wholesale what the medieval church has manufactured in the 13th century and what traditions have embellished.
The cruelty that happened during the Spanish Inquisition was pure evil. The fact that pregnant women were stripped, heads shaved, had alcohol poured on them, burnt alive, hung upside down. That's a horror. This is something that we still live with today. Rise high up into the heavens. As long as there are greater minds out there reaching for universal love, which is what witches are extending forth, we won't be hurt or driven underground again, but we will surface to the light and express our love. So be it ordained. The ritual is done.
My adversary is working overtime. But superior though he may be, he must recognize that I am still master of my own sphere.
My beloved sire, your powers are wondrous to behold.
The resurgence in Satanism in modern times is definitely connected with the impact of film and television as a unit. And the average guy is starting to think, well, this Satan is as real as Willie Mays.
Millions of women have adored me. Quite a guy with the ladies, huh? I'm a fascinating fellow. Look, Mark, playing around with dames is dynamite. But delightful dynamite, it is. Live fully while you may and reckon not the cost. Deny yourself nothing. Flame and blaze like a torch and toss the fire about you.
And we've had in recent times an American called Anton LaVey who formed a Satanist church in San Francisco and donned the costume of the typical satanic look with horns and so forth. LaVey says, thou shalt enjoy sex, thou shalt enjoy food, thou shalt have a happy life.
Come forward, those who have received the benediction of Satan and the blessings of hell. And what is your wish?
I would like Satan to arouse insatiable desire in the heart of that lovely young bank teller who's just moved into my neighborhood. He said his name was Roger.
Insatiable desire shall follow Roger, and he shall be summoned unto you, and lust shall reign supreme.
If we believe that Satan has power to grant you power, that may be a very strong reason why you should accept this idea. All that God or Christ or the angels can do for you is give you a pure and peaceful and happy life. Well, some people admittedly don't want that. You know, I've always said the golden rule, do unto thy neighbor as you would have done to yourself. How does that fit with a sadist or a masochist? You see, you've got to watch out.
I'm into the satanic philosophy because it works. It's cold-hearted. It's survivalism. Satan, Lord of the South, Kingdom of Fire, hear me. Lucifer, Lord of the East, kingdom of air, hear me. Belial, lord of the north, kingdom of earth, hear me. Leviathan, lord of the west, kingdom of water, hear me. In the name of Satan, the ruler of the earth, the king of the world, I command the forces of darkness to bestow their infernal power upon me. Oh, hear the names: Mammon, Beelzebub, Set.
Hail Satan, Rege Satanas.
By trade, I'm an English teacher. Not being certified in this country, I do private tutoring when I get the work. Otherwise, I take anything that comes my way. I've been fortunate in getting money because of the church in the fee I charge. It's a non-refundable $9 application fee, and which basically pays me for my trouble. We welcome a new member to our fold today. His name is John Stratton. John is tired of feeling that he should bow down to man-made gods when he himself is a god. This is only going to be the beginning of his new life. You're going to face a lot of backlash by wearing the badge of Satanist. Do you feel you're strong enough to do so?
Yes.
I've never been the type of person that believed in a god. I was kicked out of 9th grade in a Catholic school. I asked too many questions that the priest couldn't answer, and he kept saying, well, it's a mystery of the church. So I finally just dropped the Bible and said, bye. The chalice, not with the blood of some dead man-made god, but with quality alcohol. I've studied, of course, Christianity and gone the whole gamut, Zen, you name it. It's all based on not being strong enough to take your own life in your own hands. So I one day picked up Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible, and I read it, and I thought it was a damn good course in psychology, just basic common sense psychology. I liked his bit about the 1 part sensationalism, 9 parts social respectability. I'm into this for power, my own self-gratification, and I'm in it for the money. You know, I make good money when I get a lot of applicants, but I'm also serious about it. I'm nothing new. My organization is nothing new. People look at me as a clone of Anton LaVey's church. I am not. There are ways that I differ from Anton LaVey, but I have a healthy respect for the man.
Well, it occurred to me for many, many years that there was a large gray area between psychiatry and religion that was untapped, and no religion had ever been based on man's carnal needs or his fleshly pursuits. All religions are based on abstinence rather than indulgence, and all religions, therefore, have to be based on fear. Well, we don't feel that fear is necessary to base a religion on.
Whereas Christianity says, love thy neighbor, love thy enemy. That's bullocks. You know, it's just garbage. What? You can't do that. You cannot spread love so thin that it becomes this worthless veneer. You can't do it. John, I'm presenting you with the Baphomet. It is the symbol of Satanism, the sign of man's physical and mental fertility. I want you to read the 18th Enochian key that I've inscribed on the stone tablet.
O thou mighty light and burning flame of comfort, that unveilest the glory of Satan to the center of the earth, in whom the great secrets of truth have their abiding. That is called in thy kingdom strength through joy.
Satanism. Some of them are very arrogant, some of them are outright nasty. Those that I've encountered have always been negative or have never lasted in anything.
To be honest, many of the people that get into witchcraft are cowards. They can't face life on their own, and yet they somehow don't find their niche in Christianity or Judaism. So they get into this all-loving, all namby-pamby type of Wiccan way.
We fight Satanism by education. When somebody comes in and asks for a book, say the Satanic Bible, we give them the book. It's a book on psychic selfism. It's anti-narcotics. If somebody slaps you, slap them down, it says. And so does the Old Testament.
They like playing their little fantasies in the seclusion of their own home, walking around saying they're a witch, but when it comes to brass tacks and talking about their belief and just the debate type of forum, they don't like it. They want to run. My type of sex magic is, before I engage in intercourse with this person, we will talk about what we want to accomplish. We visualize the final product as being successful for everyone involved, primarily ourselves. You have to be selfish at times, especially in magic. So during intercourse, during the build-up towards the orgasm, you picture in steps what's going to go on. And then at the moment of orgasm, both parties focus on the outcome being successful. My getting thousands upon thousands of people in my church.
What we did, what I did, and what he focused on, it changed everything. I mean, it wasn't just making love, if you know what I mean.
Sexual freedom is something we feel is very important as a necessary requisite of the Satanic Church. It isn't the most important thing, but certainly it's an elective. We feel a person should be free to indulge in all of the so-called fetishes, all of the so-called aberrations that they would so desire, as long as they don't hurt anyone that doesn't deserve or wish to be hurt.
Scourge him. We bow down to the universal laws, which never had for man a special clause of cruelty or kindness, love or hate. If tigers burn with beauty and with might, by countless interactions interknit, lead him to his dead desire. Brothers of sad lives, they are so brief, a few short years must bring us all relief.
LaVey's Satanism of the 60s is no different than my Satanism. I've had people writing in, I mean, I've gotten over 100, just postcards saying, hey, I want information. 2 of them I had to say, absolutely not. One gentleman had just gotten out of a unnamed state pen, and he was in for child molestation and other sexual charges, and that's not what I want. Oh, I want the sensationalism. I want the whole thing, but I'm drawing the line right now as far as letting anyone in just to get their money. People are going to misconstrue the label Satanist. You're going to be accused of being a devil worshiper, animal killer, baby mutilator, drug fiend, you name it, you're going to be called that. Don't be a closet Satanist. Say it with pride. You're the highest embodiment of life on earth. You are a survivor. This ritual is ended. John Stratton is now a member of the Church of Satanic Liberation.
The Christian fundamentalist needs Satan. It's part of his absolute structure to have an evil one, a corrupter, in contrast to Christ, to God, or else you might not have the conflict that for which faith is required.
Well, Ed and Lorraine, as you know, Ed's a demonologist. Lorraine is a psychic and sensitive. They've taught demonology on a college level. They lecture all over the country. I am an investigator with them. And because of my background, my investigatory background, I'm the skeptic of the group.
We are going by, first of all, our religious beliefs, which are the beliefs of many millions of people out there in the world today, not just Catholics. When we go into a home and you tell me that the refrigerator, which weighs 400 pounds, moved across the room, I know we're not dealing with a human spirit. I know we're not even dealing with a demon. But we could be dealing with a devil.
We'll get a call. Ed and Lorraine will filter it out. What are we dealing with here? And then we'll go out to the area or to the house or to the people, interview them, investigate the house, see what we're dealing with.
Many times we have called on angelic forces to aid us. Without them, we could not be sitting here today. There is no human being, no 100 human beings that could go up against the devil and win.
And I was like this. And it grabbed me here.
And behind like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pull me over the stairs.
Turned you right around?
Yeah, pull me over near the stairs, maybe 3 or 4 stairs, and then threw me on my back and pulled me towards that door.
You are dealing with invisible, intangible, powerful forces. It takes equal forces to combat them, which would be a legion of angels. In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to come to us here now. Say that.
In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to come here now.
In the name of the saints, I command you to come here now.
In the name of the saints, I command you to come here now.
In the name of Satan. People are probably thinking to themselves now, what is it with this guy, you know? He's talking about angels, he's talking about devils. Well, what is he giving, a Bible class here? If there's one thing I've learned in 40 years of investigations, devils exist, demons exist. In the name of Jesus Christ.
In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to reveal yourself now.
Something grabbed my leg. What? Something grabbed my leg.
In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to reveal your identity.
The devil, the demons, they have no gender, but they'll take on a gender for a particular reason. Let's go with an incubus, because that's the more popular one, which is the male demon going after a woman. She'll experience all the feelings of sexual intercourse. And there'll even, in some cases, there can be semen.
People say to me, well, where do you draw the line between possession and a strong imagination? The film that we have of the only Catholic exorcism ever performed and filmed by a police officer who assists me in my work, by very credible people, show a split opening up in this man's head right before your very eyes, crosses appearing all over the body. They say psychosomatic. What is psychosomatic? Will somebody please explain what psychosomatic is? They say, well, it's caused through the mind, that you cause it yourself. Has anybody ever proven that?
Tell me your name, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. How many are you? Only one. Speak in the name of Almighty God, your Creator, and answer my questions.
There's never been a scientist that I know of which has ever stopped the phenomenon from occurring. But you bring in a priest who's knowledgeable and pious, and they stop it immediately. Many of the things that you see here have been taken from case histories which I've been involved in. These items, since they were used for diabolical purposes, take on the opposite vibrations of the demonic. If you were to pick up that item, the aura of this inanimate object could sometimes bring about dire results. We know that what we're doing is dangerous work, but the public must be informed of this. I've had numerous people who are into satanic activity where I have criticized them during our lecture programs and so forth. Unfortunately, we've had problems at our own home, problems at the colleges where we do lecture, so that it is a threat to us.
There is the lunatic fringe. We're talking about kill the animals, kill the children, kill anyone else who gets in your way, kill them because you don't like the way they look, etc., etc. Then you have they're considered the medieval Satanists. Then there are those like myself.
I don't know how many different kinds they are. They all culminate in one thing. They're worshiping the devil. Sooner or later, they end up worshiping the devil.
We look at it as a way of life, but also a way of survival, but not at the expense of others.
If you play with mud, you know, you're bound to get dirty. And in these cases, it don't shower off too easy.
We know that Satanism is on the rise. There's no doubt about it. Our case histories alone are going into dozens of cases of people who are relating horrifying experiences from these people.
We perform human sacrifices by proxy, you might say, the destruction of human beings who would, let's say, create an antagonistic situation towards us in the form of curses and hexes. Not in actual blood rituals, because certainly the destruction of a human being physically is illegal. But we feel that the sacrifice should be a deserving one. We don't chop up babies or cut the heads off of cats.
As far as Anton LaVey is concerned, I'm sure there's a lot of people that follow him and consider him a serious Satanist, and I have interviewed a couple that do. But from what I can read on the occult books and the other Satanists that I have interviewed, they don't consider Anton LaVey that serious. He's a showman.
Judy and I heard about each other. I don't know if you heard about me or I heard about you.
Right.
But it was a natural relationship because we're both private investigators. I'm in Los Angeles, she's down in Long Beach. And as any good investigator would do, just to learn or hear about satanic cults isn't enough. You've got to jump into it and delve into it and develop sources and informants, which we both have done. I've been told by a woman who was born into the movement and was in it for more than 15 years, that there are several hundred satanic groups across the nation that practice human and animal sacrifice. In all walks of life, doctors, lawyers, airline pilots, educators. I have been told of one superintendent of schools who's a practicing Satanist.
It wasn't until about 4 years ago that I what we call breakthrough. I began to have these memories. Then I had to start putting my life together. One of the earliest memories that I had was a brick wall, and they took these babies and they nailed them by their heads in a circle on that wall, and then they had 3 crosses. And in the middle cross, they had a man hung up there. Now, that man had tried to save my twin sister and me. And unfortunately, they captured him. And so they hung him up there, and then they hung my twin sister on one cross, and they hung me on the other side on another cross. But they had this pile of bloody baby parts in front of them. And they stood there with my older sister, and they threw those parts at us as we hung up on the wall. They follow a religious calendar, similar to the Christians have a Christian calendar. And at one of their big times is at the crucifixion of Christ. And so what they were doing is they were playing out the crucifixion of Christ.
The younger the soul, the more innocent the soul, because they've had less chance to sin. So the more innocent the soul that they sacrifice, the more power in the sacrifice. And that was told to me, again, by a practicing Satanist. When they kill the child and they've brought them to total fear, if they eat the flesh, then they, of course, acquire the child's awareness, his uniqueness, his IQ, his courage, his whatever.
Well, the area I'm from, on the North Shore of Chicago, in the probably middle 1800s, I believe that that's about the time when this must have begun in that village, that the Satanists infiltrated. My grandfather, who was a very prominent Methodist minister in the Chicago area, I believe that he not only was the Methodist minister, but he was also into the satanic beliefs and practices. My father was corporate executive for Chicago Stockyards for 32 years, so he had an easy access to a lot of things there at the stockyards that they could use in these kind of rituals. And we had 2 little grocery stores there with walk-in cold butcher units. And that's where they would hang these bodies, that they would use in the rituals. And they would hang me up there and tell me that this is what would happen to me if I opened my mouth and talked.
They also are very heavy into mind control, and they pass this on from generation to generation. In other words, they'll have a whole family that'll practice Satan worshiping. They take those kids and they raise them. It's like the mind control in Vietnam, but the communists have used in the past.
And then, of course, we've got all our adult survivors, and there's so many that it's frightening, actually. But they're coming forward, and they're saying, somebody stop it.
I was alone in the room at first. Then there were people that came in. They looked like priests. They had black suits on like a priest. They didn't have a white collar. They had black masks on. Then they began to chant. They brought the baby that was in the bucket. They pulled a baby up out of that bucket, and the baby was kind of whimpering like a baby, a newborn baby. They literally took the knife and went from the chest bone down and cut it wide open. They then took, everyone in that room took the guts of the baby, literally reached in, hand in, and took with the baby, still moving, screaming, and apparently the baby then went limp, but they took the living guts of this baby out and ate it. My grandfather was doing the praying, and he began a prayer out of the book. As he held the baby over me, he said, "O Holy One of the world, we offer you this libation for strength and power in your name, Satan. We offer this child and girl as a living sacrifice for your power and glory, and we dedicate this Virgin of God and make her holy by fornication, molestation, incest, cannibalism, and torture." The baby was dead, the girl was dead, and I was just there. And these people were all around me, so I just assumed that I was going to get the same thing.
Bear in mind that they also incinerate. They have the cremators, and they destroy the body. There's no evidence.
Part of the proof that that happens, wasn't it somebody down in Texas, that wasn't Henry Lee Lucas, who actually said that he had gone to schools where they taught him how to kidnap a child?
Who trained you? The hands of death. We were trained in detail of what to do, what to look for. It's just like going out and going to school. It's tight. We learn through books, through actual participation in killings.
Lucas claimed that he was trained to kill as a Satanist. Unless the FBI, law enforcement in general, looks at this seriously and does something about it, it's going to continue to expand. And we're going to have the pyramid effect.
So often when we have tried to get protection from law enforcement, they don't believe us. I'm very careful. I'm very careful where I talk about this, and you know, I screen the people I'm around. They can do anything they want to. That means if they cared to kill you, they wouldn't think anything of it.
Somebody left 13 dead red roses and 13 dead chrysanthemums on my front lawn in Westwood, California.
I received 6 dead lizards and 6 dead birds in a pile on my porch.
I did not wait to see if it was a threat. I left town immediately.
But I did know who had left them there. So I just picked them up and drove up to where they lived and put them back on their porch.
In addition, I developed a considerable amount of information on 18 murders that were committed by the satanic cult people and members of their group. Some were drug-related, some weren't, some were sacrifices. And I have this information in sealed envelopes, in 12 sealed envelopes, and if anything happens to me, these envelopes with the names, dates, places will be mailed to some key people in the government, the news media, and other officials.
They've even at times tried to attack us ourselves. Lorraine was threatened a few times. This is why at lectures we keep a very close watch on her especially.
I was just told that if I did not get out of what I was into, and if I dared to shine a light on the New Haven occult community and mention them in general, that I would be dead before I was 31.
A whole bunch of groups got together and fought them off magically. If anybody wants to believe it or not, it was done in about 1973 in Brooklyn Heights.
This was published in 1933. There were covens in Europe. That's what they're called, the congregation. Covens in Europe, in America, and in Australia, and they have one right here. That whole bunch. The parties with the singing and the flute and the chanting, those are esbats or sabbats or whatever they're called.
Don't get excited, huh?
Read what they do, Guy. They use blood in their rituals, and the blood that has the most power is baby's blood.
When the movie came out, Rosemary's Baby, and the book came out, friends of mine who had heard my memories told me about it, And they said they weren't sure that it was safe for me to see that, because it sounded so much like what I had survived and what some other satanic survivors had survived. The whole thing of impregnating this woman, the ritual of them all standing around in the apartment while they laid this lady out, it was just like I'm watching the family scene all over again. How did they know?
She's awake, she sees.
She don't see. As long as she ate the mouse, she can't see nor hear. She's like dead now. Sing.
The concoction that the woman gave her and brought across the hall to the impregnated woman, and the woman got sicker and sicker, and she had excruciating pain. I know that I was fed poison many times. Somebody experienced that and put that together in a picture.
I believe that there are diabolical births, diabolical miracles, just as the Immaculate Conception came about. These people who are into Satanism actually will dedicate their children to Satan, to the devil.
Satan is his father, not Guy. He came up from hell and begat a son of mortal woman. Hail, Satan!
Hail, Satan!
Satan is his father. Hail, Adrian! Hail, Adrian! Satan, hail, Satan! God is dead!
Hail, Satan!
Satan lives!
And suddenly people all over the country were saying, oh God, are there such things as these covens? Is there such a thing? And of course, the next step is to create it, you see, life again imitating art.
I enjoyed Rosemary's Baby. I thought that was incredible. That was great, because it did not bring the devil across as being anything bad.
You see something in a film or on television which gives it great authority, and suddenly it becomes reality. The possession of a child by a demon becomes authenticated.
Is there proof? Oh, yes. He bears a birthmark, a sequence of sixes. So says the Bible to all the apostles of Satan.
People all over the country shaved their kids' head to see if he didn't have 3 6s. I mean, by the thousands. And it got to be overwhelming that these people were shaving their kids' head. They go home and they look and this kid is the devil, especially out of some people who really haven't got it all together. Omen was wonderful. It's the story of the Antichrist coming back as a kid. The whole illusion of the Omen is, was it so, or was Gregory crazy?
We all come home from a day and say, you're not going to believe me what happened today. The dome drove me crazy. In his case, it did. It's coincidence for me. It's all coincidence. I don't believe in the peace. I believe in the coincidence that drove a man insane, because how else? Man had to be insane to get that if he thought that even came to him of killing a child. So to be driven to that, he was driven to insanity by circumstance.
Please, Daddy, no. No, Daddy, no.
God, help me. Please! Stop, or I'll fire!
I mean, a movie is a Rorschach. A movie like that, gives the audience the opportunity to see whatever they want to see within it, and hopefully there's enough conflict in those things that some people see one, some people another, so it is controversial, and it enhances its success.
Take him.
And you sit in the theater and you get those vibes. These people are believe what you did as actual. Now that has a responsibility. It has a responsibility in that a filmmaker should know his bounds as to how far to go and not to go because of that, because you do have that ability.
As a filmmaker, I just like to have whatever I make as a piece of entertainment. Omen was entertainment.
Let me say this, that most of what you see up on the screen there actually does take place.
I now command you to seek out and destroy the Nazarene child. Fail, and you will be condemned to a numbing eternity in the blessed bosom of Christ.
Most of the time, Satan is much more appealing in art, in literature, in the films, much more appealing than Christ. Maybe there is an instinct in people to want the bad guy sometimes to win, to want a very flamboyant, evil character to have power over good. You will always get some person who will organize a group, usually a man, an attractive person with strong public relations abilities and charisma, organize a group with the promise of some exotic and erotic activities.
The main focus of the Church of Satanic Liberation is to start a whole new breed of Satanist. You know, start them when they're young. I may be sounding grandiose and very egotistical, but I think I can do it.
This is a national network, in my opinion. It's active across the nation. It's not up to the LAPD or the LA County Sheriff's Office to investigate in their area. It is to a degree, but it's up to the FBI to take the leadership role and the federal government to take the leadership role and do something about this.
My primary goal is to just have people simply believe what is true and part of today's reality.
There will be phenomena occurring in the heavens which will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that God exists and that the devil exists. And that is because this is the time of the Antichrist. Satanism is flourishing. It is on the rise, and there's not too much that anybody's doing about stopping it.
I started in 1980 a program, a self-help program, to help survivors help themselves. And we've seen tremendous results. We're all across the country now. And the reason I do what I'm doing is because I don't want to ever happen to a child what's happened to me.
The movement of witchcraft is going through a renaissance period. It's happening because Saturn went into Sagittarius. In the next 2.5 years, we will see our religion. This is not a prediction, this is an accurate science of astrology. We will see a radical change in our approach to religion.
The involvement in earth religions, such as Wicca, will grow and expand and become much more public, and conversely, the misrepresentation in certain types of films will gradually disappear.
So I'm not really denying that Satan exists, because anything which is talked about so much, made into pictures, into films, into T-shirts, has a reality of its own, whether it's real or not.
Now that I've got my forces here with me, let's just see how brave you are. You won't appear because you're a devil out of hell.
Show yourself.
The individual must look to himself to understand really what the satanic problem is all about, and not to be afraid that such a thing exists. After all, God and the beneficent forces are supposed to be able to defeat all this at the end of time.
I'm here, Nazarene. Where
You! You bastard!
Nazarene, you have won nothing.
It is all part of show business. Religion is part of show business.